each type will have a literal representation. So an integer will be numeric represented with a decimal point. If it is a signed integer, the literal can also use the plus or minus symbol to indicate the sign. Similarly, a real number can have a literal value that contains a decimal point, and you may even use the scientific format, including an exponent. So C++ has a various rules to use when specifying literals in code. And these will be covered in next lecture, of course. So some examples in literals I want to show you here. For example, let's create an integer named pog here +1, and then integer nog here -1, and the double here, micro here 1e6 here, and double unit here, double unit here, 1 point here, just a 1 point, and std string name here, for example, auxiliary. And note that the unit variable, the compiler knows that the literal is a real number because the value has a decimal point. So for integers, you can provide a hexadecimal literal in your code by prefixing the number with 0x. Here, for example, integer my hex here 0x100 0x100 here. So this is in 256 in decimal. Let's see what 0x means here. Printf decimal, show decimal point, and my hex. Let's see. As you can see here, 0x or 100, so here's the hexadecimal number type, and when you print this with the decimal format specifier, you will get 256 integer by integers here. So these are the integers of as well. Of course, just as is a different numbering system. So by default, the output string will print the numeric values in base 11, as you shown here. So, however, you can insert a manipulator into an output stream to tell it to use a different number base. So the default behavior is here std dec here, which means the numbers should be displayed as base 10, and std octal, so it's the octal means the display as an octal base 8, and this is decimal base 10. Let's write it here, octal base 8. What's next here? So we got the base 16 as well. Oops, I'm sorry. std hex here, base 16. So this means display as a hexadecimal here, which means hexadecimal base 16. Let's see here. And if you prefer to see the prefix printed, check the use the stream manipulator std show base as shown here, std show base here, like this. So C++ defines some literals. So for bool, the logic type, there are true and false constants here. Let's make this comment because we will not write any codes on it for now. As you know, logic type is a true or false. So where false is 0 and true is 1, so there is also null ptr constant, again 0, which is used as invalid value for any pointer type.